Good morning, class. Last time we met, we talked about summary writing. Today, we want to look at comprehension. From your reading comprehension and summary in Form 1, you were told that the term comprehension means understanding. That is to say that examiners test your understanding in a given prose passage. Now, when you say comprehension means understanding, some people have been saying yes, understand. They don't actually know what it means to say that in comprehension analysis, the term means understanding. So I want to give an extract of a past question and use that one as my analysis to explain what is meant by comprehension in comprehension analysis. Look at the passage on population. It says that approximately 1 billion people are being added to the world's population every 12 years. One reason for this rise in numbers is the widespread improvement in basic health care, which has lowered infant mortality and lengthened lifespan. I want to write this. So this passage says that approximately 1 billion people are being added to the world's population every 12 years. One reason for this rise in numbers is the widespread improvement in basic health care, which has lowered infant mortality and lengthened lifespan. Now the question is, what factor helps to increase the population of the world? What factor helps to increase the population of the world? Now, in presenting their answers, somebody will quote the whole of this extract, this paragraph for me, as his answer. If you present this answer to us, it means that you have not understood the passage. Definitely, you will score 0. Now, somebody will start from here. One reason for this rise in numbers is the widespread improvement in basic health care, which has lowered infant mortality and lengthened lifespan. Similarly, if you also present your answer this way, you also have not understood the passage. That's why I started by saying that in comprehension, we want to test your understanding in a given prose passage. So if you leave this answer direct, what factor helps to increase? You want the factor. So let's start by saying one reason for this. Definitely you will not score the mark. So the simple answer is that improvement or widespread improvement in basic health care. That should be your answer. So if you are able to present comprehension answers in this way, then we can confidently say that you have understood the passage. And so that is what we mean to say that comprehension means understanding. Having said that, I want to look at aim of comprehension. Why do we set comprehension passage for students. But comprehension aims at testing your understanding or your level of understanding in a given passage. So as I analyze in the extracts that I just gave, if you are able to present your answers in that way, then you have understood the passage and then you score your mark. Remember, comprehension is marked over 20 good marks. Now let's look at how do I answer my comprehension answers. How do I answer my comprehension answers? In fact, answers to comprehension need not be written in sentences. Unlike summary writing, where we demand sentences, for comprehension, it is not compulsory that your answers should be written in sentences. Answers must be written in brief and clear English. How do I present my comprehension answers? Answers to comprehension, I said, need not be written in sentences. That's to say that it is not compulsory that your answers must be in sentences. For comprehension, answers must be briefly and clearly stated. How do I approach my comprehension questions? Or how do I present my comprehension answers? The approach. Now over here I want to say that approach to comprehension is not different from summary. After all of them are passages that we are going to read, so they all follow the same approach. I take a quick reading of the passage. Read the passage very fast to have a broad idea, broad general idea of what the passage requires you to do. Later after that, read the questions. Read the questions that follow. This is not the stage to answer the questions. You just read the questions and familiarize yourself with specific demands, what the questions require you to do. Just read the questions. 3. Take a second slower reading. This time paying attention to important details. If there's any word that you don't understand, try to ensure that read the sentence in which the word occurs and then understand everything. The last one, after you have taken a second slower reading, you now answer the questions. So these are the steps that you should follow, or the approach to answering your comprehension questions. First, take a reading of the passage to have a broad general idea of the passage. 2, read the questions that follow. 3, take a second slower reading, taking note of important details. And then finally, you start by answering the questions. Now, having known all these, let us now look at areas that questions are set on comprehension. Areas that examiners set questions on comprehension. One, let's look at vocabulary questions. The term vocabulary simply means words. So here, some words are underlined in the passage, and our duty is to find appropriate replacements for those words. You need to replace those words with another word or a phrase so that the meaning of those sentences will remain unchanged. Now, before we can do that, vocabulary questions are normally not less than 5 and they are not more than 6. Either 5 questions or 6, and each of them attract 1 mark. So if you're able to score all the 5 marks here, even if you have not started the other areas, you have 5 marks there. And so you should be able to answer all the questions under vocabulary. For that matter, I want us to look at guidelines that should help you to be able to give proper replacements. One, identify the word. How do I identify the word? Such words are neatly underlined in the passage. All the 5 or 6 words, they are neatly underlined in the passage, so it is not difficult to locate those words. Two, read the sentence in which the word occurs several times. Over here, it is possible that you might have not met the word before, but if you read the sentence very well, the environment in which the word occurs should be able to let you get a proper replacement for the word. You now find a part of speech of the word. And let me explain that part of speech different from figures of speech. We're talking about part of speech, we're talking about grammar. Nouns, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, positions. These are called parts of speech. We're talking about figures of speech, talk about literature, simile, metaphor, alliteration, all those things. So over here, we're talking about part of speech. So find the part of speech of the word. If the word is a noun, then you need a noun to replace it. If the word is an adverb, you need an adverb to replace it. If the word is a verb, you need a verb to replace it. In particular, if the word is a past tense verb, then your replacement must also be a past tense verb. And then the last one, whatever replacement that you get, put it back into the passage and read the sentence. If the meaning of the sentence remains unchanged, it means that your replacement is correct. If the meaning of the sentence changes, it means that your replacement is wrong. So these are some of the guidelines that should help you to be able to come out with a proper replacement. If you look at the passage on armed robbers, where most of my examples will come from, this word vandalized was underlined. The passage said that neighbors were shocked the following morning how the doors were vandalized before the robbers forced their way in. And I said that with the sentence in which the word occurs several times. Even if you have not met the word vandalized before, it says that neighbors were shocked at the way the doors were vandalized before the robbers forced their way in. It implies that it's talking about armed robbers, and they vandalized the doors before they were able to force their way in. So it gives you a picture that the doors were destroyed. You understand? So this particular year, most students wrote destroy. They forgot that it's a past tense verb. So if you write destroy, you will penalize. So the correct word is what? Destroyed. And then you get your 1 mark there. So these are the guidelines that should help you to come out with proper replacement. I believe that if you follow these guidelines, the vocabulary question that comprises about 5 or 6 words, it should not be a difficult problem for you at all. It shouldn't be any problem for you. Two, let's look at content questions. Every year, questions are set on content. When we say content, what do you mean? Content questions are questions whose answer